I just hit 100 subscribers, you guys, and wow, this has been a journey like nothing I had imagined. And starting a YouTube channel definitely is one of the most exciting things. It is messy and it is full of surprises, and I thought when I started that the growth would be steady, yes, and easier. And now, of course, it has become one of those very challenging things to do, but very so much rewarding. And still, with less than 200 subscribers, I have been able to learn so many valuable, powerful lessons. And today, I am sharing some of those lessons that I have learned. What if I told you having a small audience is one of the biggest advantages that you have, and that each one of us has a story to share that can potentially change another person's life out there, even if you're not meet in person. So join me in. So how did I begin with it, YouTube? This is how my story all began. I had toyed with the idea of creating a YouTube channel for a long time, and I was not sure exactly what to talk about. And I uploaded my first video definitely when I was pursuing school. I was in grad school, I was in full-time job, and of course a heavy commute. And I was nervous like any other first creator, because of course you're afraid of being judged, and especially by those people who you think that they have more knowledge of the topic that you want to talk about. More of that later. Finally, what drove me to uploading the first video? Now, I witnessed the agony the parents were going through, especially during the drop-off, and I saw children screaming and throwing beautiful tantrums at the door, and parents themselves walking out of the building, really fighting their own tears, distraught and wondering whether their child will be okay and whether there is a solution out there, because if they knew what to do, they could have done. And I knew this is one thing I know how to do, because I have helped so many parents who are going through this over 20 years of my career in early childhood education, being an educator, trainer, and coach. And I knew this is one thing I can be able to help a parent out there, because if the parents who I have are struggling, maybe there is a parent out there who is also struggling. And I thought, if I could create a video with step by step from the time you enroll the child to a program to the time you drop off and beyond, maybe it can help a person. And that is what I did. After so many failed recordings, I uploaded a whole 20 minutes long video. And to my surprise, after a very short while, it garnered 300 views. I was so shocked and surprised, and I knew then actually the need is there. That is so huge for a new creator like me with the first video going on. And I had to admit I was scared, because I thought myself, people will expect something else, maybe or similar, and I couldn't afford the time, because remember, I had really taken a long time to publish that one video. And again, I'm still in full-time school, full-time work, and a heavy commute. But then I decided, let me try again to meander the way I just meandered on the first one, because if I wait to be perfect, I thought to myself, I may not help another person out there. So I thought, let me try again. And so I did. And after a few videos later, I created this one, which garnered 1,200 views after a short while. And I said, what? This is becoming serious. I better be serious. And so there are so many lessons that I have learned, and most of them don't have to do with the YouTuber or making the videos. It really have to do with everything, with who you are, who I am, and how I approach life. And the lessons have been invaluable, and it is more than I really expected. The first lesson I learned is that there is something called editing. You don't just post videos. There is copyright issues, and then there is the consistency, and those things you need to be aware of. And when it comes to consistency, how was I supposed to be consistent? Because shortly after my first grad school, I decided to go back to another grad school, and now all that time, but deep inside I was still so much excited, because I was learning so much about children, and I was learning so much about things which can help the educators. And parents of young children. So I'm getting so excited, and therefore the urge to help really persisted. But then when it comes to consistency, definitely everyone struggles with that, and especially in the beginning. But it is the only way you can be able to build a library. You have to be in YouTube for the long haul because you are new. You have to help YouTube with a database, and the database is built with the views and also the videos that you're making. You have also to realize that with this consistency, it will help you grow your YouTube library. When YouTube you find the right audience, the library will be ready there. And then of course you have to know you're building roots. You're learning something new every video you upload. Then you have to know that you're building a community, a small loyal following, but they are the most important. And what surprised me the other day when I looked at it and I calculated the combined views of all the videos I have, it amounted to 6,000 views. And I said, what? Oh my goodness. And I thought, wow, this is becoming serious because that is a whole stadium. Even if it is out of 6 who comes back, those are many people to come back to watch your videos. And I thought maybe it is the time really to be very serious with this. Surprisingly though, among the many videos I have posted, you have to learn another lesson, and that lesson is that you have to learn to enjoy your hero's journey. You learn to be patient with yourself. You'll become your own cheerleader, because as much as there was that first video with 300 views and the other one with 1,200 views, definitely there will be that video that you have worked so hard on. You have done a lot of research, you have put all the experiences, and you know maybe there is a person who is out there, and boom, only no views. And it can be discouraging if you really are looking for views because you had really put so much time there. And that is why you need to be on it on a long haul. Remember when I said that I was afraid of posting the first video because I was afraid of being judged and what people will say and what do they have to offer, yada yada yada. Let me tell you something. You handle that way that nobody cares. And I mean nobody cares, because rarely is anybody logging into the YouTube to go and look for people to talk about. And at least for the most part, unless maybe you are a bigger YouTuber where people will come and criticize maybe the information that you bracketed, or maybe whatever it is that you said, but very rarely. Even you yourself, I know when you're watching, you don't watch to really sit down there and criticize. Breaking from that fear of being judged has been so liberating to me. I'm free to give an opinion or to share my experiences. Then what you need to know is that YouTube, it is a platform for videos, and nobody is obligated to be loyal to you. And that is why you learn another lesson. You learn to celebrate the little small wins to keep the momentum. You discover very quickly that the journey is the destination here. Whatever it is that you're learning as you go, you are not going to arrive, because after this you have to learn something else. That is why my 100 subscribers, you really are the best. You took a chance on me when I had 10, when I had 20, when I had 50, you should have seen me when I had 99. I was so elated and I was so excited. Thank you for upholding me. Thank you for coming back. And I'm so appreciative. It has been one of the hardest things that I had to experience, this 100 subscribers, because sometimes it felt like pushing a rock uphill. Now the challenge is getting to 200 subscribers, and I hear it is the magic start, the invisible threshold, and where the growth starts, and it starts growing organically. It is where you really prove your concept. That is what I hear, and I cannot wait for that experience. And that is why at this juncture I will ask you kindly to consider liking, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell, and at least join me in this journey. Also consider to comment, to give me a comment. Let me know how your journey has been and how you find this content helping you. On a side note, if you have a child who is transitioning in potty training, and you're wondering where to start or where to do or what to think, I have created a comprehensive ultimate potty training guide to help you with your child from the beginning, preparing, and to the end after post-training, including how you communicate to the school and how you collaborate with them. If you need more information, you can click on the link below. And while you are at it, grab 0 to 4 months milestone cracker for your little one. Anyway, the other lesson that I have learned is people go to YouTube looking for solutions that solve their own problems that is bothering them, and they are just so much subdued by what bothers them that little what it is that you're posting. And that is why the next lesson is so important. You must provide value, and you share your talent and your skills to those who are looking and they need help with whatever it is that is bothering them. And when you offer that information genuinely and in an authentic way, you create and build trust. Nobody is looking for information anymore because there is AI. People can go and just prompt the AI and have a feedback. Now people are looking for that which they can relate to, that which is relational. They are looking for communities, and that way you become a tapestry of a bigger community which makes the world better by offering the solutions. You encourage somebody else out there who is going through what you had gone through and what worked for you. They are bombarded with a wealth of information, but sometimes you don't want to experiment. You want to know what has worked for another person so that you can try that same thing. So this is where I call people of over 40. There is a place for you at YouTube. You have a wealth of valuable information, all the experiences that you can share with those who are looking for solutions, and they're looking for your unique way and perspective of looking at things, and they want to see what has worked. The tragedy becomes though when you decide not to try, because you will never know. You will never know whether that would have worked. Now, the other lesson that I have learned, that you have an opinion over so many things. You don't realize also how much of the wealth of information you have, but the more you consume to whatever it is the space you are, the more you realize, oh my goodness, I have something I can say about this, although that is not really what I wanted to create. I wanted to talk about children because that is what I'm passionate about, because there is the importance of the early years. And having been a teacher the whole of my life, first teaching high school and then young children under 7, it has really proved exactly what it is that has been said, that there is a direct correlation between the formative years and what young people are experiencing in high school, young adulthood and beyond. And I am passionate because in my own opinion, if we captured most of the things the children are suffering or they are going through when they are young, we will be able to help them build the resilience that they need when they grow up and when they go to middle school, to high school and beyond. By the way, if you are a parent of young children and you are faced by those challenging behaviors and you don't know exactly how to go about it, you can always schedule an appointment with me by following the link below. I have taught children for so long, and for you to teach children, you have to be patient. And you learn very quickly from children that you cannot teach them something that they are not ready to learn. You teach them what they are ready to learn. And I did not know that that information will be so much applicable at YouTube. You just teach people what they are willing to learn. The other thing you discover is you learn to understand yourself more. You don't go to YouTube as an authority per se. Yeah, it is called YouTube. It is from you, your own experiences, and you share what it is. It is about you and them, which leads to the next valuable lesson I had to learn how to communicate, to learn how to talk to people, and especially on camera. When you're speaking on camera, it feels like you're talking to a void, and yet it also feels like you're talking to a multitude of people or to nothingness. And for those who knows me, you know I go off the curve, I meander all back and loop back. But guess what? YouTube algorithm, aka people, and therefore views, they don't have that time for you. They're looking for solutions for those problems which bother them. So respecting people's time becomes the primary thing. You have to simplify the message, you have to be precise, and you have to be in point. You have to simplify everything so that at least people are able to get the help that they need. You also learn not to compare yourself with anyone. YouTube is like the whole world, really. You learn that we all don't start from the same space, from the same spot. There is something called unfair advantage. Everybody has their own unfair, unique advantage to starting a YouTube, and therefore we cannot all be the same. There are those who have tech skills, there are those who have brilliant personalities, but the beauty of it all, what cannot be duplicated, is your own personal experiences. The tragedy again is whether you decided to try, because you will never know. YouTube has taught me to embrace the process and to really define what success is. If I have learned a new skill, every video comes with a new skill learned, and so you redefine the success on YouTube, not in terms of views, but in terms of the skills that you're learning and what you're learning about yourself. And lastly, and this I usually say this is for me, lastly, it is what I call the publishing thrill. There is something that happens when you click the publish button and you know that video has gone, and you think, this is it, this is it. It is an extraordinary moment because you know there is potential or there is nothing. You know many people can be touched by it, so you become careful of what you say, or it can become nothing. It is a deep realization of that this surely can change somebody else's life. That parent, that mom, that dad who was really going whatever they were going through because they did not have a concrete solution. And it is so thrilling when I do that, and I am so glad I had to have the courage to do that, because again, yes, you can delete, but at least by the time you decide to delete, there is a person who is affected by that. So I call it my publishing thrill, and every time that happens, nervously, I know I have posted a library of YouTube videos, but there is nothing that measures the next one when you publish that, because you know it has full of potential. Thank you so much for listening. I know you have stayed to the end. Again, consider to subscribe, comment, like the video, and share your journey too by commenting below. Let me know how it has been. Let's support each other.